How's it going, everybody? For the time being, with my difficult work schedule, Matt and I are not able to do full length episodes or podcast episodes for the Less is More Sports channel. So, for the time being, him and I are just going to post little blurbs about just some things that are on our mind in the world of sports. So, my blurb today is going to be about the Super Bowl recap, Super Bowl 56, and the matchup between the Rams and the Bengals. So, without further ado, let's get into it. As you all know, the Rams defeated the Bengals 23-20, and for the time being, I'm going to start with the Rams. I'm going to give you my little breakdown of what I think happened, what I saw happen, and what I think could lead into the future. On the Rams' point of view, this is why they spent the money. This is why they go out and get the Von Millers, the Odell Beckhams. This is why they make the trade for Matt Stafford. They went all in, and it paid off, and they finally got a ring. After years of misery in Detroit, I was happy to see Matt Stafford get a ring. He deserved it. He was on some terrible teams, and he showed that once you have a good supporting cast, he's a good enough player to get it done. So hats off to him. What also stood out to me is that the Rams, even though they had a lot of talent, they have a loaded roster from top to bottom, they still went without some key players in the Super Bowl. Odell Beckham gets hurt and he was having a great half. Tyler Higbee was not healthy for the game, and et cetera, et cetera. They overcame some key offensive weapons, could not get a running game to go at all, and they still got it done. On the final offensive drive is what stood out. Cooper Kupp was pretty much held in check for most of the game. But Stafford just force fed him. Just kept giving him the ball, kept going to him, going to the receiver that just set the most productive season from a receiver in NFL history, which is crazy. Hold on, I'm going to break off and talk about that for a second. I mean, you win the Triple Crown in receiving, leading the league in receiving yards, touchdowns, and catches. You win a Super Bowl MVP. This, yes, has to go down as the greatest season for a wide receiver in NFL history. And right now, I'm not mad if people want to say he's the best receiver in the NFL. He deserves it. I mean, what else does he have to do? What better numbers does he have to put up? I'm all for it. But it showed how valuable he was all season to the Rams. And it was just impeccable to watch on that final drive. You knew it was going to go to Kupp. The whole stadium knew it was going to go to Kupp. The Bengals knew it was going to go to Kupp. And they still could not stop it. That is what the definition of a great player is. You make plays in the biggest moments. Peep the background. This guy did it as good as anybody. Aaron Donald. Man, I'm happy to see that man get a ring because, I'm not going to go as far as what LeBron said, saying he's the best defensive player of all time. LeBron is entitled to his opinion, and I respect LeBron's opinion. However, I will go as far as to say Aaron Donald is the best defensive tackle of all time. And to be honest, I don't know who's really better. I don't know who could do it better. I don't know who has taken over a game or games as good as Aaron Donald has throughout the course of his career. This man has redefined the position and set a new standard for what we expect from defensive tackles. And no play was bigger than on the final Bengals possession on 4th and 1, him getting pressure on Joe Burrow and forcing an incomplete pass. It all goes back to what I just said. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. Point blank, period. You know what? And if he wants to retire, I'm not mad at him. He hasn't made a decision yet. Obviously, he's still probably in that honeymoon phase. He just won a Super Bowl. You know what? Let him take his time. But even if, as a fan, I would love to see him keep playing because he's a great player to watch. But as a realist, what else does he have to prove? And another thing that just stood out from the Rams on this and on their end is just how much stronger their defense got as the game went on. They gave up some plays early on. Most notably, we all saw the long touchdown to T. Higgins, which was a very questionable face mask call. I'm not going to lie. But it's neither here nor there. There were some questionable calls missed, but that's sports. But anyways, what I noticed is that when the Rams defense wanted to just bite their teeth and make plays, they did. And case point. But, that's really wraps up what I have to say about the Rams. What else needs to be said? Like I said, Big thing is happy for Sean McVay, happy for Matt Stafford. Odell Beckham gets a ring. Cooper Kupp gets a ring. Aaron Donald gets a ring. Von Miller gets another ring, as we all remember his Super Bowl MVP performance with the Broncos when my man Peyton Manning played his last NFL game. So obviously, on the Rams end, this is what we expect. Most people expected. Most people expected the Rams to come out on top. They were the more loaded team. The more talented team took over late. However, that does not discredit what the Bengals did. The improbable run is over. They after coming off of a 5-11 season a season ago where Joe Burrow was coming off the ACL injury, not a lot of people predicted them to even win the division, let alone make the Super Bowl. But yet they defied all odds and they got it done. It was a heck of in the Super Bowl, they put up a heck of a fight. They went blow for the Rams for majority of the game. And honestly, just the Rams just made a bigger play, just a couple bigger plays late. And I really saw the tide shift with the Bengals after the drop by Tyler Boyd, which ironically enough, that was his first drop of the season. And I can't imagine how he feels because you have secure hands all season long, and then the one drop you make is in the biggest moment. I hate it for him. But anyways, this game proved what me and Matt have been saying all along, and that the Bengals, they need a line. Despite their deep run without one, this is why these runs are not going to be consistent if they don't get a line. The Bengals had a great season. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. But the Rams sacked him 7 times in this game. The Titans sacked him 9 times earlier in the postseason. He was sacked a total of 19 times during this postseason run. And one of the sacks, when he went down grabbing his knee, I kind of got PTSD flashbacks of all the times I watched Andrew Luck go down after a sack. This Bengals, take it from a team that's 2 hours away. Give this man a line or these runs are done because, we as a Colts fan, I've seen this before. Andrew Luck, when he first got to Indianapolis, he led him to the playoffs his first year, led him to the divisional round the next year, led him to the AFC Championship game in his 3rd season, all making the playoffs, all winning 11 games a season, all advancing farther in the playoffs his first 3 seasons. Then the injuries piled up. And Joe Burrow's already had one severe injury. He's actually already quicker than Andrew Luck. He's already more banged up than Andrew Luck was at that point in his career. And if they don't do something, it's going to be the same thing as Andrew Luck. And they're going to ruin a franchise quarterback, and a damn special one at that. Because you all know how I feel about Mr. Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow himself. And of course, the biggest play of the game came on the 4th and 1 play where Aaron Donald got pressure. If they had a line, maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe Joe Burrow completes a pass. Maybe they march down the field and they take the lead. And then the Bengals are holding the Lombardi Trophy instead of the Rams. But who knows? And I just can't help but think. I got to go back to that knee, that when he went down holding his knee. Thankfully, it was not serious. But to be honest, I think that is a foreshadowing of things to come if they do not address this. There's going to be more injuries, and then these Super Bowl runs are going to be over. It was a great run. Enjoy it while it lasted, but because if you all don't get a line, it's over. But if they do, I'm going to tell you, the Bengals, this is the difference. If they get a line, I could see this Bengals team becoming a dynasty within the next couple years. You look how far they got without one. Oh, man. You protect Joe Burrow, you give him time to make decisions, it's over. He's special. He's special. He's Joe Shiesty for a reason. But anyways, that wraps up, my individual recaps for both teams. But I have to admit, though, this game really went down exactly how a lot of us expected. We expected the Rams to win. They were the more talented team. But this Bengals team that is putting on a heck of a fight, that made improbable performances and an improbable run to the Super Bowl, we knew we were going to get a heck of a fight for them, and they did. That defense, all those moving pieces that they brought in, they really played well this entire postseason, and they played well in the Super Bowl, and they showed up. But again, what it came down to is are the Bengals, with their lack of offensive line, able to protect Joe Burrow, and they just weren't. That's all the time I have for today. Stay tuned for Matt's blurbs.